Most clever plays caught on camera. Some of the most clever plays in NBA history have been made by some of the most skilled athletes in the league's history. Not only did these individuals have the knowledge necessary to play the game of basketball in the appropriate manner, but they also consistently displayed their prowess while they were still actively competing in the sport throughout the entirety of their playing careers. These gentlemen take an intelligent approach and they execute it with a high degree of class all the while. So let's get started with the video and take you through the most clever plays caught on camera. When there were 10 seconds left in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals in 1991, the Los Angeles Lakers had a 1-point lead against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Trail Blazers had just missed a 3-point shot, and when Magic Johnson got the rebound with around 3 seconds left in the game, he made the decision to toss it across the court to no one so that he wouldn't get fouled and the game would end in regulation. This occurred after the Trail Blazers had missed a 3-point shot. The Lakers were ultimately victorious, while the Trail Blazers were knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. This was without a doubt an extraordinarily clever play, the likes of which are not something that every other player is capable of completing. Mike Woodson, who was standing on the floor at the moment, received an unintentional bump from Jason Kidd as the latter drove the ball. This action was both smart and controversial at the same time. Although Kidd was the one who started the altercation, the referees were compelled to call a technical penalty on the Hawks because Woody shouldn't have been on the court in the first place. This resulted in the Hawks being assessed a foul. The comeback from being down by 15 points was finished when Dirk made the free throw and Kidd made a 3-point shot. As a result, they won the game. Great work. This one clever play, which is just one of many examples of such plays, took everyone, even the players on the court, by surprise. The spectators also found it hard to believe. Marcelo Huertas was the sole individual who was accountable for seeing it through to its conclusion. He hid behind coach Eric Spoelstra and then sneaked back into the playing area to take the ball away from Goran Dragic. The spectacular steal that was made by Larry Bird of an inbound pass that was intended for Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1987 resulted in a layup by Dennis Johnson, which led to the victory for the Boston Celtics. A few seconds before the end of the game, Larry made a move to get into the path of an inbound pass that was being delivered by Isaiah Thomas to Bill Laimbeer. He was able to intercept the pass and win the game for his team. After regaining his footing, he then handed the ball to Dennis Johnson, who was standing underneath the basket. Johnson went on to make the game-winning layup, which ultimately led to the team's victory. The series was ultimately won by Boston, who did it in 7 games and advanced to their 4th straight NBA Finals. Within the context of this particular scenario, Avery Bradley is not stumbling. At the very least, he wants us to think that he is only tying his shoes, which is the most complex thing he could possibly be doing. As soon as he realizes that the ball is traveling his way, he rapidly and cleverly gets hold of it in a matter of a few seconds. This takes place in a matter of a few seconds. Without a shadow of a question, this was a tremendously deft play that you put on. To further complicate matters, claiming to have trouble with your shoelaces is one thing, but fabricating an injury is an entirely different undertaking. During the game between the Lakers and the Warriors, McGee pretended to be wounded in order to trick the other team. He tricked Draymond and then he came back to take advantage of the open shot at the basket. Unquestionably a magnificent example of the game. The performance that Luka Doncic turned in here took everyone by surprise. He was given a free throw, but when he attempted to score with it, the ball rebounded and the players on the opposite team were able to steal it from under his nose. You might assume that this was by mistake, but just wait for what happened next. This situation did not last for very long at all. Luka was successful in regaining possession of the ball, and in what seemed like a blink of an eye, he was able to successfully put the ball into the basket. So, you see, a player like Luka would miss a free throw only on purpose. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, is not fooling anyone with his passes because, let's face it, even fans can detect his passes from a mile away. However, this does not mean he is trying to trick anyone. They are the aspect of his game that is the most obvious to predict, but supposing they weren't. As soon as Simmons got his hands on the ball, he started moving around with it in a way that gave everyone the impression that he was going to pass it to one of the other players. But instead of that, he did a backward spin and put the ball right into the basket without missing a beat. What if, on the other hand, you did not need to trick others or be clever?
So your left hand. So I'll probably sit inside here, get this hand inside here.
What if you were merely a smart person?
You know, it's a little trick for the weekend warriors over there. You know, once this guy makes his move with his right hand.
See, Kobe is an expert on the subject.
You pin this, because you know he's inevitably going to come back to a strong hand, right? So now when he makes that move.
And fortunately for all of us, he is not hesitant about sharing his knowledge.
Now he can't come back. Watch, try to cross over. Uh-oh. That ball pops out.
The only difference is that this mad method doesn't simply work once. It's effective even in the most important situations. It was the 2nd of October in 2008. There was a game going on between the Heat and the Lakers. Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant, arguably the best two shooting guards of the 21st century, faced off against each other in this game. Kobe Bryant made the decision to make Wade's work life a living nightmare when there was only enough time for one more possession. However, in addition to his reputation as the Black Mamba, he is also known as the clamp guy. Because he once made a steal without even looking, Kawhi deserves to be mentioned among the great defenders. One time, he stole the ball without a glance. In order to retrieve the steal, he dove straight onto the ground. They say the best things in life come to you when you do not look for them, and here is the reason why. Kawhi listened to this piece of advice, and as a result, he was able to execute one of the best steals to this day. Our pick for this round is Luke Kornet, because he is the kind of player who can make even the most skilled shooters look like they have no idea what they are doing. Because he has an exceptional wingspan, in addition to a staggering height of 7 feet 2 inches, all this guy needs to do to obstruct a shooter's view of the rim is put his hand in front of his face. His height alone is staggering enough. If only we could all contest a shot that our opponent is taking from 10 feet away, then playing defense would be a lot simpler. So guys, which of these plays do you find the most smart? Let us know in the comments below.